adopted much of their culture and religion from their dominant neighbor, China. The flow of culture and religion was fed from Western countries, carried along the Silk Road. This historical trading route carried people, goods, information, and culture across continents from Europe through Southern Asia to East Asia and Southeast Asia. Not only did this create strong ties between nations economically, but also personally through the sharing of cultural practices, ideas, and traditions. One major tradition commonly shared among countries is religion. Through conquests, missionaries, and trade routes, countries have long since shared and sometimes forced their religious ideals with one another. One major religion shared, especially by Asian cultures in early years, was Buddhism. China, Asia's biggest country both in area and in population, was used as a sort of filter for Buddhism to spread from India throughout the remaining smaller Asian countries. One such country, a small peninsula off the eastern coast of China, is Korea. As with many prominent ideas and religions, great leaders are born. One such leader in Korea was Chinul. Chinul was Korean Buddhism's religious savior at a time of great indirection following the KOREA dynasty leading into the 13th century. In order to realize the influence Chinul had on Korean Buddhism, an explanation of the time period and early Korean Buddhism must be explained, along with Chinul's personal background. Buddhism came to Korea through different paths. One path, as mentioned before, was the filtering through from China of the Mahayana branch of Buddhism. Another path claims direct contact with India. Early settlements from the Vedic religion helped pave the way for Buddhism. The Vedic religion, also a religion stemming from India, planted South Asian ideals in an East Asian land. Buddhism had a great effect on Korean culture. S. R. Bhatt claims the influence of Buddhism on Korean life has been tremendous and unmitigated, insofar as it provided ideological foundation, cultural backup, and socio-political solidarity and integration. Many Korean leaders adopted Buddhism as their national or state religion. Like other religions in various cultures, Buddhism influenced the country's rituals and traditions. Religion in this case also acted as a unifying force among the Korean lands. Also, other religions, such as Taoism and Confucianism, also shared by other countries of Asia, helped create a unique view of Buddhism in East Asia. Through the KOREA dynasty, who ruled Korea from 935 until 1392 CE, Buddhism became corrupt. Buddhist monks, exempt from taxes and other obligations, began expanding their monasteries as new members flocked away from their civic duties. This caused an economic strife on the country, and in turn led to leaders persecuting some practices and even closing some monasteries. Remaining monks were dispersed. Chinul became one of the most influential leaders of Buddhism in Korea. Few sources reveal information about his early life, but through his writings, an inscription on a memorial, and other records, we can learn about what shaped Chinul's ideas and his view on Buddhism. Chinul was born during a time of social and political strife in the KOREA dynasty. Born in 1158 in the Sohung district of Tangju, now the Hwanghae province in North Korea, he was given the secular name Chong. His Buddhism name was Chinul, and later he was commonly known as the Koro Pojo Kuksa, or Pojo Kuksa, meaning national preceptor, universally illuminating, like the son of Buddha. His father was a low-ranking officer in the Koryo government, assumed to be educated. It is disputed, though, how Chinul became a part of the Buddhist monastic community. The most popular account is that his parents promised their son to Buddhist service if his childhood sickness was cured. It was, and Chinul, at 8 years old, was given into service at Mount Sago, the branch of the Sun tradition, under the monk Sun Master Chonghui. Chonghui was a Sun Master at Kosun Sa, or Sago Sun, one of the 9 mountain schools that made up the Korean Buddhism sects. Other accounts, less elaborate, tell of Chinul leaving home around the age of 15 or 20 to become a monk. Chinul, being naturally inclined to retreat into solitude since his youth, took to following his own path of Buddhism. This path consisted of the use of both scriptures or sutras and meditation. It was unusual at this time to combine both literal and practical knowledge of Buddhism. He was also greatly influenced by the Sun tradition. The Sun tradition, or Chun from China, was introduced to Korea during the Unified Sia period, which lasted from 668 through 918 CE by Pomnang. Pomnang was Buddhist, a monk who had studied in China. The Chun tradition, later known as the Sonna or Sun tradition in Korea, is most commonly known as the Zen-na or Zen tradition, a name given by the Japanese. This tradition of Buddhism became very popular in Korea from the 9th century on. In this tradition, from India, there are 2 main methods of meditation: sati, which is mindfulness, and dhyana, which is quiescence or stillness. This tradition was adopted by Mahayana Buddhism, strong in China and East Asia, and was influenced by Chinese Taoism. There is a 4-part definition of Zen given by Bodhidharma, otherwise known as Chan Master Nanchuan Puyan. This 4-part definition is a special transmission outside the orthodox teaching, non-dependence on sacred writings, direct pointing to the human heart, and realization of one's own nature and becoming a Buddha. A non-traditional transmission of this method is told that the historical Buddha held up a flower while teaching on Vulture Peak. Only one of his students understood, Mahakashyapa, who simply smiled in response. This was known to be the first heart-to-heart, mind-to-mind transmission of the Dharma. From here, the method was split into 5 houses, one being the Korean Sun tradition, where meditation was emphasized over the study of text. From this, there developed the 9 mountains of Sun, the 9 different schools. After choosing the Sun tradition as his path, Chinul left his home monastery in 1182. From here, he went to Poje-sa in the capital to take the Sun Samguk examinations. After excelling at the examinations, Chinul became disgusted with the worldly climate, and he lost interest in joining the Buddhist hierarchy. He criticized Buddhism for having excessive political interest, seeing examples probably from the benefits of being exempt from taxes and monasteries becoming extremely wealthy. Not willing to depart completely from the Buddhist tradition, Chinul created his own Sun philosophy.